"Sir, you're under investigation for trespassing." "Trespassing? This is my land. Remove that sign immediately." "Before I do, show me the county survey. State your names, and your badge numbers." They said I was trespassing on my own land. What they didn't know was that one warning sign was about to expose a multi-million-dollar HOA conspiracy. The day I put up one warning sign, everything changed. I thought it would keep strangers away. Instead, it brought the HOA to my front porch. And she wasn't alone. "Sir, we've received a complaint. They claimed I was trespassing, on my own land." That's when I opened my phone. "Before we continue, your badge numbers please." Everything changed after that. But the story actually started years earlier. Construction taught me one thing: always trust measurements, not opinions. That habit saved me. Then I found 4 peaceful acres, exactly what I had been looking for: peace. Until I noticed the trail. That little trail would change everything. At first, it was only a few people walking through. Families, kids, couples. I didn't mind. I believed they were simply passing by. Then the trash started showing up. 1 empty soda can become 5. Every weekend looked worse than the one before. People stopped acting like visitors, they behaved like owners. Someone even moved part of my fence. Then I found a fire pit someone had built beside my creek. I kept telling myself, most people are decent. Then one evening, I noticed a woman watching my land. The moment she realized I'd seen her, she disappeared. I had no idea who she was. A few weeks later, I learned her name. Karen Holbrook. HOA president. Then the teenagers showed up. One of them tossed a beer can into the woods. So I simply asked them to pick it up. They apologized, and I thought the problem was solved. I couldn't have been more wrong. That night, someone pounded on my front door. The moment I opened it, she started yelling. "Did you threaten my son?" "No. I asked him to stop littering on my property." She didn't wait for an explanation. She had already decided I was the problem. "This trail belongs to the community." I asked her one simple question. "Can I see the county survey?" She couldn't answer. Instead, she threatened me. "You'll be hearing from our attorney." The next morning, the warning sign was gone. Someone had stolen it overnight. That's when I installed cameras. If someone wanted my land, I wanted evidence. 3 nights later, the cameras recorded something interesting. Karen wasn't alone. One of them carried survey equipment. That made no sense. So I visited the county office. I requested every survey ever filed. The clerk looked surprised. "These don't match the HOA maps." That's when I realized, this was never about a walking trail. The official survey answered one question, but created 10 more. According to the county, the trail had never been public. So why was everyone acting like it belonged to the HOA? I decided to visit the lake myself. That's when I noticed fresh construction stakes. Nobody had asked for my permission. Someone was planning something. Then I saw heavy equipment. Construction hadn't started, but everything was ready. Yet there wasn't a single public permit posted. That made me suspicious. The next morning, someone knocked on my door. He refused to give his name. "They're trying to buy access to your shoreline." Before I could ask another question, he was gone. Inside the envelope were engineering drawings. The planned marina crossed my land. Without my signature, the project couldn't happen. Now everything finally made sense. The warning sign was never the real problem. I was standing in the way of a multi-million-dollar plan. From that moment on, I stopped assuming anything was a coincidence. If they were planning something on my land, I needed to know every move before they made it. Within 2 days, the cameras recorded exactly what I feared. They weren't hikers, they were measuring the shoreline. Karen arrived 20 minutes later. She wasn't inspecting the property, she was giving instructions. Everything was recorded. The next morning, I followed the tire tracks. They led straight to a fenced construction site. One sign caught my attention. That company had never requested permission to use my land. Then someone called me from a blocked number. "Stop asking questions, or you'll regret it." Instead of scaring me, the call confirmed everything. I contacted a land use attorney. He only needed 5 minutes to spot the fraud. These boundaries were altered after filing. That wasn't a mistake, it was evidence. For the first time, we knew exactly what we were fighting. Now all we needed was proof linking Karen to the plan. We were closer than ever, but Karen still had one final move. The next morning, I had one goal: preserve every piece of evidence before it disappeared. Tom wanted every document scanned before anyone challenged its authenticity. By noon, another letter arrived from the HOA. This time, they demanded I remove every warning sign within 24 hours. They still think this is about a sign. That afternoon, Karen held an emergency HOA meeting. She called me a threat to the neighborhood. But one homeowner quietly disagreed. He slipped me a message after the meeting. It contained one address. The warehouse wasn't owned by the HOA. It belonged to the marina developer. Everything connected back to the shoreline. Tom smiled, we'd finally found the missing link. Now we could prove motive. But Karen wasn't finished yet. That night, someone entered my property again. This time, every camera was recording. They weren't looking for tools, they were looking for the evidence, and they had no idea I'd already made copies. By sunrise, I already knew someone had entered my property. They searched every cabinet, except the one that mattered. The originals were gone, but every copy was already safe. Now I finally had proof of intent. My attorney called the sheriff's office immediately. This time, they weren't responding to Karen. They came to investigate the HOA. Then they watched the security footage. Nobody said a word. The lead investigator finally closed the folder. "Investigator, we're opening a criminal investigation." Karen had no idea what was coming. Less than an hour later, every computer, every file, every document was collected. Residents watched everything. For the first time, Karen looked nervous. Months later, the courtroom was full. Every document, every recording, every survey told the same story. The warning sign never violated the law. In the end, one simple warning sign didn't just protect my land. It exposed an entire plan that never should have existed. Sometimes, standing your ground is all it takes to reveal the truth.